All right, Joel Gausten here from joelgausten.com. For this interview, I am honored to be joined by two members of the band Dead Below Hammer. I have on vocals AG and on bass the man himself, Mr. Rob Kabula. How you doing, guys?
What's up, Joel?
All
How's
right, what's up, Joel?
Not much, man. I appreciate you coming on short notice to talk about what's going on in a few days. I
brother
appreciate it.
being here?
Awesome, awesome. Well, I want to bring you on because Dead Below Hammer is playing a very important show uh, to honor somebody who is very important to a lot of people in that area, northern New Jersey, central New Jersey, a fellow named Jeff Stubbz. There is a special memorial benefit show for him this Sunday, April 21st at Dingbatz in Clifton. It's the Jeff Stubbz Memorial Sunday Matinee featuring Dead Below Hammer, Broken Heroes, a band I used to be a part of that Jeff was a part of as well, Graveyard Ghost Story, The Faulted, and the Passaic County Pipes and Drums Band. Show starts at 4 o'clock. It's $15, all ages. And when I post this video in the description, I'll include a link where people can get tickets and find out more information about the show. So first of all, guys, thank you so much for being a part of the show coming up on Sunday. Everybody
Thanks for
really,
having us, Joel, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
yeah, it's really Lauren who's been, putting things together, and Lauren was Jeff's partner, and she really appreciates it. Everybody who's a part of this show appreciates it. So, as people can tell by the list of bands I just read off, it's a pretty eclectic bill on Sunday. A lot of different styles of music. Jeff's friends and his impact was felt by a lot of different people. So it makes absolute sense that this show is going to be, a variety of different styles musically. But I figured we'd talk about Dead Below Hammer and introduce people who may be new to you guys, and talk about your history and a bit about what they can expect when they see you guys on Sunday. But first and foremost, AG, I think the last time you and I had a face-to-face conversation was 27 years ago.
Jesus Christ, man. Seriously.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
in Franklin, I believe, if I
Franklin,
recall.
New Jersey. Yeah, because you guys were still against the grain back then.
Yep.
Uh, Rob, you weren't in the band at that time. You were doing AF, the Something's Got to Give era of AF. And you guys played a show I booked with Morning Noise. I got Morning Noise to reform for a show at an American Legion Hall. I booked shows at.
Yep. It was the
You guys
American
were
League.
on that bill. And it's funny because when Lauren reached out about having us connect for this, she was like, "Yeah, AG said that they played the Morning Noise show," and I'm like, "That's right."
Yep.
And that was 1997. So
It was 97. Yeah, yeah. And I'll never forget going in there. I'm like, yeah, wait a second, Morning Noise. I was like the Lodi band. And I'm like, no, it can't be. We and me and I forgot who. Oh, my drummer Stan at this time. We're like, it can't be the same Morning Noise. I haven't heard from them since the '80s. Like, and then lo and behold, yeah, there it was. And I remember the singer was that I remember he had glasses, big guy,
yeah,
semi long hair. Um, uh, the name escapes me, but
Mike Mansfield.
Mike Mansfield, yeah. But I remember Chris Moran's there, and yeah, it was a trip. It was a fun time
Where was
Yeah,
this show again?
in
The town?
Franklin in the American Legion Hall.
Oh, in Jersey.
Yeah,
yeah,
New Jersey. Yeah, yeah,
right off of Route 23. If you're
yeah.
going north on 23, you have Franklin. There's a ShopRite shopping center, which I think there still is. And that hall is still standing too. I went there about a year ago. I was in town and just stopped by, and it's all been like refurbished and everything. It looks fantastic. So maybe we'll do it
Nice,
again.
nice. Let's
It's
do it again.
only been 27 years or whatever.
Let's
Uh,
do it.
but yeah, that was cool because back in those days, I was doing quite a few shows, and I got a call from the other Rob who was in Against the Grain at the time. He called me up one day, and you guys just had the demo cassette out at the time. And this was a very long time ago, so my memory's kind of hazy, but I almost want to say Rob got my number from Ray B's. I think that's how that all happened. I think. Um, but in any event, so I remember when you guys just had the first demo out and you guys played that show, and that was definitely a great time. So let's kind of start there because what's now Dead Blow Hammer started off as Against the Grain. And that would have been 96, right? When you guys first started?
August 1996. Well, a little bit earlier in the spring, but our first show around August. I want to say August. Hold on, I got the flyer right here. I'll let you know. It was August August 11th, 1996, I believe. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
And as you know, AG, I'm starting and just have the first part up now, but part two is coming soon. I'm doing a series on the history of a club in Newark, New Jersey called The Pipeline.
The infamous pipeline.
And I
Yeah.
bring that up because, Rob, isn't it true that Against the Grain and now Dead Blow Hammer, this whole history began at the Pipeline?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thursday night at the pipelines, the hardcore nights when, like 25 to Life used to play there, Fury of Five, and
It
it
was
was
a
just a
Thursday
place to
night,
be
right?
every Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I
I was
met this
in,
guy there.
I was in the parking lot outside, and I was hanging out with the Faction Zero guys, friends of mine, Rob and Dave and Chris Alessandro, and I was saying, you know what? I got a good bunch of pals that I'm jamming with over in Fairfield, and but it's not going nowhere. We're stalling. We cancel practice a lot, and then they introduced me to the other Rob, and then the other Rob brought me in, and he introduced me to Kabula right then and there. And it took me like 10 seconds to put it together. I'm like, wait a minute, Kabula Agnostic Front? Yeah, and I'm like, holy crap. And then it was just like, I was obviously who wasn't, I was a fan of his music, and I knew his name from the records and the liner notes and reading what instruments these guys play and everything. And I was just like the other Rob says, "Oh, we can try him out, whatever." And I'm like wetting my pants. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna be biting my fingernails. I'm gonna be in a band with this guy. This guy's freaking New York hardcore like legend. How am I gonna do this? It's gonna be embarrassing. I'm gonna embarrass the hell out of myself. I was like flipping out. And of course, he had a joke with it too, because Roger Moret being of Cuban descent, and then he goes, and then
Oh, yeah.
Rob, the other Rob tells him, "Oh yeah, he's Cuban also." And Rob's like, "I'm being invaded by these guys. I can't get rid of these guys."
Rob, were you playing bass around that time, or had it been a while since you'd been doing band stuff at that point?
I think we were doing Against the Grain before Agnostic Front did the reformed for that Something's
Yeah.
Gotta Give period.
Yep.
Right.
So I wasn't really playing. I was jamming with people and stuff. And then, we put together Against the Grain. And then, there was the AF reunion, which turned into a record and tours and everything. Because the AF reunion was just jump up on stage at Wetlands and play a few songs. And then it morphed into, tours being offered and shows, and then, write a record, and then the rest is history.
And him abandoning us.
Well, I know, for a couple of years there, Rob, even when you were originally in the band with Against the Grain, Billy Milano was pretty active with you guys in those days. I think he produced that demo and that album that came out a couple of years later. How do you think having Billy in the mix kind of got things moving?
Well, he was like our manager. So, I mean, I grew up with Billy. I I went to high school with him. I brought him to his first show at CBGB's. and introduced him into the hardcore scene. So I was used to having him around. But you know, he could be a little hard to be around sometimes.
There's so Joe, I tell you, like you know, it's hard being in a band. There's about like a billion different brains that you got to deal with in and outside of the band, people you're dealing with, and you gotta. It's like sales. You got to learn how to talk to people to get through to people and everything. But one thing that made it just like so entertaining was just being around Billy, and being able just being able to like how he has a short fuse, being able to bust his balls and prank on him and go nuts. And not only that, it's just you know like he was just entertainment personified, and he was like a big brother. Like you know, I tell you know I talk about Rob and I talk about Bailey, and these guys, you know, they've been around more around the block than we ever had been, and I always appreciate these guys because what they schooled me in nonstop between Rob and especially Billy too. You know, they told me a lot of things, what to look out for, what to watch out for musically, and just dealing with people. You know, they've been around the block, and here I am, like green in the face in '96. As far not as far as hardcore, but like as far as being in a band. You know, so I was always appreciative of having him around, and especially for his sense of humor because it was off the charts.
What stands out in my mind when I think of Billy Milano and Against the Grain, we'll fast forward a little bit to the album you came out with, I guess in '98, the Mentiroso album.
Yeah.
Beef, you fucking idiot.
Uh, I'll tell you that was up, that was for real. I'll tell you why. Because Billy, you know, he was new to recording. And so he had to set up, he had to press a button and he'd be like, okay, go. And that ball that was like, I'm dying. So he'd have to press a button and he'd be like, all right, your vocals are starting. So I'd be doing my park motions out of awareness, about those pull shut the fuck up, you know. So I'm doing my thing. I'd be messing up, and because you know, I was nervous. So then next thing you know, now it's the fourth take, and he'd be like, okay, all right, all right, let's just fucking get this right now. All right, we're gonna fucking get this right now. All right. And so he started off. Now it's like the eighth take, and now he's like with his veins coming out. He's like, okay, just focus and just concentrate and do what you gotta do. What you gotta do. Just focus. All right, you got this. Then when I finally got it, I forget to say beef at the end of the song, and he goes, he's just trembling. You see all the veins popping out of his head and his neck. And he's like, beef, you fucking idiot. And next thing you know, I'm like, that is what we're using. That's what we're doing. That's it right there. Beef, you fucking idiot. That was all she wrote. That was the rest was history.
Perfect. And you guys went on for a couple of years. You did that album. I know there were a couple of split CDs after that record as well. So I think that kind of brings the band's history into like the early 2000s. That's kind of around the time I lost track of what you were doing. I moved out west for a few years. Um, I came back around 2006. I don't believe you guys were playing at that point.
We
Um,
were.
so you guys,
But we were. Yeah.
you were playing at that point.
Yeah, we played. We actually ended at that time. We actually ended with Rob coming back to the fold. You know, it was me, Rob, our drummer Stan, Carlito, and Christy Alessandro from Faction Zero.
Mhm.
And I believe our last show we played at the Yonkers bar, the Irish bar, Rob. I forgot the name of the bar. It was Murphy's Law.
Oh, I remember that. It was a long time ago, but
Yeah, I forget the name of the Irish bar. It's still there. Once in a blue moon, they'll have some punk shows once in a while. I think to this day maybe, but not a lot of shows over there. But that's the last time we had but probably when we started, you know, dying out as far as like things that we had going on in our lives and everything. And we were looking to move on.
So, obviously you guys did come back together. When that happened, was it initially a whole new name at that point, fresh start, or did you guys come back a bit as Against the Grain? How did that transition kind of take place?
So we did. So we came back. It started off exactly when I wanted to re-release Mentiroso, the CD. I had a lot of people asking me like, "Hey, what could we do? What can we do? Can we still like people email me? Can we still order the CD and stuff? And how can we get it? Because it's out of print. It's been way long out of print and still is. And I had called the other Rob, and I tracked down his number. I hadn't spoken to him in years, and I said to him, "Let's re-release this on vinyl. All right, let's re-release on vinyl. Let's see if we can get a nice remix mastering of it and everything, make it sound a little better. Fix it because there was a lot of mistakes in the liner notes and everything, and a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to I wanted to redo it the right way. There was a lot of like the record label put Too Damn Hype put it the lyric the line of songs in alphabetical order, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell happened here? There was like a miscommunications here and there. But what happened is that it suddenly became where Rob was reaching out to the rest of the band, and the rest of the band was like, "Hey, G, let's do this again. Let's get this together again." Um, and I really wasn't there yet. And then Rob, I think, was finally the one that was egging me on. He's like, come on, let's do this a second go round." And that's when we did that was 2013. And then 2014 is when we reunited. We did the Black and Blue Ball as Against the Grain. Um, and the rest was history. But we had the intent of let's change the name, start new, start fresh. And that was Dead Blow Hammer. The day after Against the Grain played at Black and Blue Bowl, we did Dead Blow Hammer. And on top of that, there was another band that I guess didn't do their history that we were around, whatever, I don't know. And they were called Against the Grain. So we were just sick and tired of chasing people around with the same name and everything. So we decided let's change it. Let's do it. Let's do Dead Blow Hammer, which came from our old drummer Pete.
Excellent, excellent. So I know, Rob, it's you, AG, and Carlo from the old Against the Grain days. Who else do you have in the band at the moment? I know there's some recent change that's taken place there.
Well, we have a new drummer, Forrest. We used to have this guy, Chris, but he went on to do something else. So we got Forrest now. And we have Rich on guitar, the beer brewer.
Rich the Brewer. Yeah.
Rich the brewer.
Best brewer in Queens, or in this whole area, actually. Really good stuff. Bridge and Tunnel Brewery. Give him a little pop.
Yeah, totally. Excellent. So, I mean, you guys have been back at it about 10 years now, right? As Dead Blow Hammer
Yep.
stuff out. Um, and obviously you guys have put out, a few things under that name. I'll definitely link the Bandcamp and stuff when I post
Thanks.
the video. Um, and I always dug Against the Grain. I'm digging what you guys have done under Dead Blow Hammer. As far as the set list, how far do you guys go back these days? Do you touch any of the old Against the Grain material with what you're doing now when you play out?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. We're doing Rob, what is it? We do Forced to Reckon. We do
Rubberhead.
Rubberhead. A song that came later on in the early 2000s, Give Me Your Drug Money. Which Christy Alessandro wrote, and it was like a magnificent piece in our set list still to this day. And on our anniversary next month, we're going to be releasing what's called the Hammer Collective, and we'll be having those songs, Give Me Your Drug Money and Rubberhead, representing uh two of the 10 songs on that release.
Cool.
Yeah, we always go back and, play those old songs and we try to rework them or something, update them. And
Yep.
because, we figure we're really kind of like the same band. We just changed our name. So there's still our songs to use. So if we could like update them or, you know, change them up a little bit.
Yep. We've also recorded, I forgot to mention, the Against the Grain song, Forced to Reckon, in English and Spanish under Dead Blow Hammer. We did those. We did that. Yep.
Cool. You guys still play Last Word?
We did in the beginning. We did in the beginning. And actually our first release before our self-titled was we digitally released a live 4-song thing from a show in Brooklyn at the Grand Victory Bar. And if I recall, that has Last Word on it. That has Last Word on it, but live version. We never fully recorded, but we played it live for like I think our first 2 years as Dead Blow Hammer.
Yeah, it's not in our set now, but we
Not right
might
now, no.
revisit
Get down
it.
the road again.
But we're writing new songs, so it's, we gotta,
A lot of new songs in the
AG
pipeline,
can
yeah.
only sing so much before he runs out of breath.
No, I'm doing yoga now, so I can keep up now with the youngins. So
Yeah, I think you gotta lay off the beans and rice. I don't know.
if anybody has energy, it's this guy who's hundreds of years older than I am. And he'll be like, let's do the set list the 4th time. Come on. And I'll be like, what? I'm kidding.
Well, that kind of leads to a question I had for you both. Like I mentioned, AG, 27 years ago, last time you and I, had a conversation, you were playing, and Rob, you've been playing with these guys on and off for almost 30 years, and you had a long history, before then. So, you both have been involved in this for a long time. As far as working together, and Carlo too, we should mention, is still in the picture as well from those days. What makes it work to where almost 30 years later, you guys are still a band, you're still obviously friends, you're still creating music. Bands sometimes don't last, 20 months, let alone, almost 30 years. So what for you guys, what's been the key to making this thing stick for as long as it has?
That's a good question because I don't know how this is stuck together so long with these pain in my asses.
It's it's just in our blood. It's just, I picked up the bass when I was like 17 years old, which was like 100 years ago. So I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I didn't practice at least one night a week with a band. I'd go crazy.
It's weird because I always see myself, in like anything else. It's a relationship. We've had our rough patches and everything in general, but nothing major. But we've always uh molded, we've always blended together into getting our aggressions out. And I think we had always had that mutual understanding of writing music, how to do it the right way, and what to look for that stands out. And we always said, we write music for us to make ourselves happy. I think that's primary. A lot of bands, I think sometimes bands I've spoken to fail to do so. It's always like to cater to the masses, but we've always said, you know what? It's something that we got stuff that we gotta like also that we gotta appreciate also. And I think that's always kept us together. And again, we've had rough patches, but we cursed each other out multiple times. He said, F this, I don't want to do this. And, just talking out of just letting it out. But like any relationship, but we've always stuck together and did what we had to do to just have fun, man. It was the same like-minded guys in general, wanting to have fun doing this stuff.
Right on. Excellent. Rob, since I've got you here, I gotta sneak in one AF question. Because I saw today that Stigma is putting out an autobiography in September called The Most Interesting Man in the World.
That should be a
Har-
good read.
Yeah,
That should be
har-
something.
hard to disagree with that title. You know what I mean? It's like, what else are you gonna call that book? But I was thinking about this today because I know we were going to be talking, and I saw the announcement about his book. Agnostic Front I know they took a break for a few years there in the early 90s, but beyond that, unless and until the Bad Brains come out with a new record or something, I would have to say at this point, I don't think it's a stretch to say AF is the longest running New York hardcore band at this point. Um, because you've been in the band a couple of times, so you've got the insight. What do you think it is about that band, and particularly Roger and Vinny, that makes it work to the point where we're talking, 40 plus years for those guys, and they're still doing exactly what they were doing since day one? What's been the key to that working as long as it has?
Well, it's basically, Vinny and Roger are like blood brothers or like a marriage or, but even though they're kind of like opposites in personality, and it just like works, and I think over the years they've come to appreciate each other more, as you get older and you start realizing like, we're a thing. This is a thing that we're doing together that we created, and people dig it. So it's like we did something in this world.
Yeah,
So I think they
absolutely.
have a bigger, they grew to really appreciate each other and, just realize that they're, you know, in it to win it.
Absolutely. Always a great band. Always a great band. My first AF show was 92. So a lot of years, a lot of shows with those guys for sure. But again, as far as the show coming up Sunday, just a reminder is that Dingbatz this Sunday, 4 o'clock, $15, Memorial Sunday matinee for Jeff Stubbz. It's Dead Blow Hammer, Broken Heroes, Graveyard Ghost Story, The Faulted, and the Passaic County Pipes and Drums Band. Come out, celebrate Jeff, support Lauren, and see some great bands, including Dead Blow Hammer. So,
Awesome lineup all around.
yeah, it's going to be a great day. I love the fact that each band's a little different. You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to get a taste of something different
And
throughout
it
the whole
starts
day.
early too, like 4 o'clock.
Yep, 4 o'clock. I may have mentioned this, but if I didn't, it's all ages, 21 to drink, of course. So, as my friend Pete said the other day when I talked to him for the channel, church is over then, get done with church, bring the family over to see Dead Blow Hammer and Broken Heroes and the rest of the bands. That's a good marketing plan. Get the church crowd over for
There
the
you go.
match.
Amen.
Right on. Guys, thank you for joining me on such short notice to talk about the show. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you guys. It's definitely not going to be another 27 years till you and I talk AG, because I'll be seeing you guys on Sunday. I'll be making a trip down.
Absolutely. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. It's going to be a great, great time.
Absolutely. AG, Rob, thank you both so much.
Thanks,
No,
Joel.
thank you, man.
My pleasure. I'll see you Sunday.
See you Sunday.
See
Cheers.
you Sunday.